In this video, I'm going to show you how you can scrape websites to give you ideas for content, set up a calendar event for meetings, extract numbers from photos of receipts, and search the internet and summarize key findings using local AI tools, all for free. So let's get started. I'm going to give you the ultimate breakdown on how to use local AI. There are 4 reasons why you should consider using the local AI. I've taught over 400 people how to use AI, and the most common question I get is that the company doesn't allow them to use public AI because of privacy reasons. As we all know, anything you can send to the AI is not private. So if you don't want your data to be sent to an external company, you can use local AI and it runs only on your computer. The second is that there's a lot of countries where you can't even access some of the public AIs, and running locally is a good alternative. Number 3, it's costs. Running a local AI is essentially free except for electricity costs. So if you want to save some money, you should definitely consider using a local AI. And number 4, 6 months ago, there was a huge gap between open source local AI models and what's available with public AIs. But in the latest benchmarks, that gap is closing. And I really think you can achieve 80% of what you can do with public AIs using a local model. So let's get into it. We're going to use 2 AI tools. Number 1, LLM Studio. And I'm going to teach you how to set it up, install an LLM, tune your model settings, your chat settings, teach you how to use plugins and MCP, and then finally setting up a server so other computers can also access it. And then I'm going to teach you Anything LLM, which gives it additional power. In particular, it gives you the power of using AI agents to automate a lot of tasks that you do all the time. So I'm going to teach you how to set it up, how to use AI agents, how to build custom skills and slash commands, and they work on top of another. Ultimately, you can do something really cool where I have a gaming laptop that has high performing hardware, and then I can access that through my Wi-Fi network from my Mac. So I can run my LLM model using my gaming machine and then use it on my Mac. And I'll show you how you can do that as well. And that's great if you have a powerful machine lying somewhere and you can share with other people. And you might be asking, why am I using Anything LLM and LLM Studio? There's actually a ton of other AI tools out there you can download for free to run your AI models on your own computer. Here's a list of them, and I've tried all of them. And I chose these 2 because of these 3 factors. Number 1, I found them extremely easy to use, even if you have no technical background. Number 2, they seem to have the most users and the most development. So long term, I see it continuing because there's a lot of open software that discontinues after a year or 2, and we don't want to learn something that gets outdated. Before we start, I have to clarify what is a public AI and a local AI. With the public AI, such as ChatGPT, Claude, Gemini, you're sending your data through the internet to ChatGPT, which will process your request and then send the data back to you. With a local AI, you basically use your computer's CPU and GPU hardware, and you process your request on your local computer without it ever leaving your computer. So technically, the only thing that will see the data is your own computer, and it never leaves your own computer. And so that's what a local AI is. Okay, the first thing you need to do is go to lmstudio.ai and download LM Studio. So if you're using a Mac, it'll show up as Mac. If you're using Windows, it will automatically detect your Windows machine. Just click this button, download it, follow the instructions, and start there. Once you've downloaded LM Studio, you should see something like this. And the first thing you need to do is to download a large language model. So come to the left, click on Discover, and you'll see a bunch of LLM models here. The good thing is that they have a best match and they have what's called a staff pick. So choosing from the best matches is not a bad decision because LM Studio will detect your computer's hardware and recommend the best one for you. Some basics about large language models. Here you'll see a whole bunch of different models. 4B, 8B, 20B, what does this represent? It means how large the language model is. And the larger the number means the more parameters it has. The more parameters it has means that I can deal with more complicated tasks. So if I have a simple task like what's 1 + 1, using the small model will definitely work. But if you want the model to deal with complex tasks that requires a lot of reasoning, such as writing a scientific article in your writing style, then that requires a lot more reasoning. Okay, so number 1 you have to check the LLM's parameters. You can scroll down on the right-hand side and you can see this one has 4.4 billion parameters. And even if this one doesn't say in the title, you can go into description and you can see that this one has 7 billion parameters, and OpenAI, you can see that it's got 20 billion parameters. Now, you'll also have to come and take a look at the size of your LLM. This one is 12 gigabytes to download, and the Qwen 3 is only 3 gigabytes. So you have to consider how much space you have in your computer and also how much RAM you have. If your computer is not fast enough, you're not going to be able to run the large 20 billion parameter LLM model. So to start off, I would recommend choosing a smaller model like this Qwen 4B model to make sure that it actually runs on your computer. The second thing that I love about LM Studio is that it's got these capabilities highlighted. So you can see here it's got vision. It means it can process image processing, and it supports tool use. So what does that mean? So with vision, what you can do is you can upload an image to your chat and it can extract information from the image itself. So if you want to do anything with vision, you definitely need this capability. And if you want to run AI agents that take action and make decisions for you, it will probably need to use tools to search the internet, to do certain things for you. Then you'll need the model that supports tool use. There's another one you might see, which is this green reasoning. A lot of times when you're chatting with the AI, it will just spit out an answer. But with reasoning, you can see it's thinking logic while it's thinking about your question. If you're a person that likes to see the reasoning, you should choose a model that has reasoning. And generally speaking, when you're doing complex tasks, reasoning models perform better. If you're really hardcore, you can go to artificial analysis, and this is an independent site that evaluates all the LLMs out there. And you can see which ones are performing the best. And right now, in terms of open source models, Kimi is performing the best, even beating out Grok 4 and Anthropic. But there's more, because this is just general intelligence. But if you are using AI for coding, there's another ranking for coding. So Grok 4 is the best for coding. And if you're using agentic AI, then GPT-5 is number 1, tied with Kimi. Now, Kimi is performing really well, but let's go back into LM Studio and you'll see what's the problem. Okay, although Kimi is amazing, you can see that the model size is no joke. You can see that the model size is 32 gigabytes and it's likely too large to run on my computer. And so even though there are great models out there, I think LM Studio does a good job of making it easy to choose an LLM model. And so choosing the best match is usually a good choice. And you don't have to just download one. You can download a couple and then compare the results yourself. Let's say you have chosen a model. You can just click the download button and then you'll be able to use it. Once download has completed, you can come to My Models and you can see which models you have downloaded. And then let's give it a shot and give it a try. You can go to chat. You can go to the top here, select a model, and then I can say something like, "What's the best LLM model for local AI?" And there you go. It's working. Now it depends on how fast your computer is. If your computer is not fast enough, later in my video, I'll show you how you can use an external computer that is a faster machine lying around. You can connect to that and use that as your LLM server. Now that you have your basic local AI running, I'm going to show you 3 features. Number 1, I'll show you how to process images. Number 2, how to connect to integrations. And then number 3, how to use presets. I'm going to go into my first example of where I'm going to extract numbers from a receipt. So the first thing you need to do is to download an LLM with the vision capability that allows it to read images. And once you have that, you can go to chats and start a new chat. And here I'm going to attach an image. And I have a receipt over here, which I'm going to attach. So it's an image of a receipt. And I'm going to say extract numbers from this receipt. Now, you'll have to choose your model here. So make sure you choose the right one. And then I'm just going to hit enter and let Qwen work its magic. Okay, so it's recognized. So this is pretty amazing. It's basically read through all the numbers on the receipt and given me the total and also each dish that I ordered, the date and time. So this is quite powerful. you can see how it can extract all this information from any image that you have. You don't have to manually input all the expenses that you have. You can use AI to help you do that. Now I'm going to show you the power of integrations. If you click here, you'll see that there are integrations. And let's do a test first. So there's a new mayor in New York, and let's ask, who is the mayor of New York? And you see that as of 2024 April, the mayor of New York is Eric Adams. But there's a new mayor, and you see that it's referencing 2024 because that was the last cutoff date this model was trained on. So let me turn on DuckDuckGo, which is a search engine, and I'll show you how to add it. But before that, let me show you the results. Can you search for the new mayor of New York? And I have enabled this, and it will give the ability to the AI to search the internet. So you see that it's doing a web search. And here you see that it's found that Zohran Mamdani is the new mayor of New York. And that's really powerful because the problem with LLM models is that once they're trained, they can only search what they have. But if you wanted to do more powerful things, you have to give it tools to collect new information to add to it. And the search engine is one of them, and I'll show you how to add it. Okay, to add DuckDuckGo, all you need to do is go to this website link or search for DuckDuckGo LM Studio, and you'll come here. All I need to do is click on this Run in LM Studio button, click Open LM Studio, and it will start installing. And it's that simple. There's a ton of other MCPs and integrations you can add, but DuckDuckGo is definitely one of the more useful ones. Okay, the final thing I'll show you inside LM Studio are presets. If you come into your chat to the top right, you'll see context and you'll see presets. And what these are is just that if you have prompts you use all the time and you don't want to type it in every time, you can save it and then use it later on. So this one is a prompt called pinpoint writing, and you can see that it's a really long prompt. I don't want to copy and paste it. I don't want to type this in every time. Once I've saved it as a preset, all I need to do is come to the top, copy preset identifier, and paste it in, and it will run that prompt every time. So then I don't have to type it in anymore. And this is a great way to build a prompt library. Imagine I have 100 of these presets saved, saves me a ton of time. I don't have to go and type it in every time. Now that I've shown you LM Studio, and I've shown you the integrations you can add to LM Studio, I'm going to introduce another tool called Anything LLM. Although LM Studio on its own, it's already quite powerful, there are still limitations to what the integrations can do for you. And if you want to take it a step further and introduce AI agents, then you need to use Anything LLM. And let me explain why you need it. Because right now, if you use only LM Studio, the models you download cannot interact with tools from the outside world. Like the search the internet function, for example, it needs to connect to a tool like DuckDuckGo in order to search the internet. But what if you want to go beyond your search? What if you want to connect to Google, Reddit, LinkedIn, and all these other different services? Then you'll need AI agents. And to do that, we're going to use Anything LLM. In the next part, I'm going to show you how I use Anything LLM to schedule a meeting in my Google Calendar, use Anything LLM to scrape Reddit posts to look for viral ideas and content, and then finally, look through my LinkedIn notifications and see who has added me, who I should respond to, and some insights there as well. Okay, to set up Anything LLM, actually the first thing you need to do is you need to open your LM Studio, click on here, Developer, and then you got to turn on your server settings. So once the status is running, you're ready to go, because this will act as a server for your Anything LLM, so you don't have to download your models again. The next thing you need to do is to go to anythingllm.com, click on the download for desktop button, and just follow the instructions to install Anything LLM. Okay, now that you've downloaded Anything LLM, the first thing you need to do is to make sure it has an LLM model that you can use. So go to Open Settings, go to LLM, and you can see there's lots of options. Now, you can just download an LLM model using Anything LLM, but since we already have LM Studio set up, you can click on LM Studio, And if you have LM Studio running already, you should be able to choose the models that you've already downloaded. So you don't have to download it twice. So we're going to use basically LM Studio as a server, and Anything LLM, it's going to call that server as a client. Then you go to a workspace, create a new thread, and you can say something like just say hi and see if it works. And if it responds to you, that means it's working. If it's not, you can click on the brain icon at the bottom and then choose the model, and then it should work. And there you have it. You have your basic Anything LLM running. So there's a bunch of features here. You can attach a file or image. You can have these presets. You can have these agents, which is the most powerful tool that we're going to show you. And you can choose your model. So we're going to go over each of them. And another cool thing I want to show you is that you can click here and you can upload your own documents, which I'll show you how to use to create your own custom RAG. RAG is retrieval augmented generation, which means you're giving more context to the AI. AI doesn't know anything about you, but if you provide the documents, it can know more about you. So if you ask AI, what's happening to my schedule next week, it doesn't know anything about it because it doesn't have access to your personal data. And if you upload this data, then the AI will be able to retrieve it. So let's start with that. Let's give you an example. Let's say I'm asking Anything LLM about Arsenal's football team scores. So I'm asking about Arsenal games, and it says it doesn't have real-time access and it's not able to give me the information that I need. So this is the website of Arsenal, and it shows the results of their previous games. And what I can do is I can go to Anything LLM and I can click on this button and I can just paste the results page, and I can click fetch website, and it's going to go ahead and scrape the data. And then I click on move to workspace, save and embed, and it's done. And so now if I ask the same question, what are the results for the last 3 games? Okay, the results are back, and you can see that it's 2-2 Sunderland, 0-2 Burnley. So let's check the results side by side. Sunderland 2-2, yes. Slavia Prague 0-3, and Burnley 0-2. So it works, and that's how you upload data to your RAG. So the AI has information about it. So how can you use this? Well, you can put in your meeting notes, emails, and then use it to search for communication between your colleagues and say, hey, what did we discuss last meeting? So super powerful. So that's the first feature. Now I'm going to show you the most useful feature in Anything LLM, which is the reason we're downloading this instead of using LM Studio, which is the agent feature. So to understand agent, you have to go to settings, click on agent skills, and you'll see that built in, they have a lot of agent skills that already come along with it. So it's got web search, it's got generate charts, save files, script websites, view and summarize documents, RAG, long-term memory. So it's got a lot of cool stuff already, and you can have custom skills and you can have agent flows, and I'll go through how to use them. For agent skills, how can you add custom and agent flows and all these cool stuff? You can come here into the community hub and click on explore trending, and you'll see there's a lot of agent skills you can import. So you can chat with Slack, you can have calendar events, you can have an SEO advisor, you can have mid-journey prompts. So there's a ton you can explore, and like there's agent flows like Hacker News. So let's start with the calendar event. So you click on the import button and follow the guide, click on import, and just like that, you'll be able to add the skill. Now, I have calendar event imported. I need to come here, I need to turn it on. And it says I can generate a calendar event link for Google and Outlook. So let's give it a shot. Let's go back. Let's go to my workspace, open a new thread. And to use agents, I need to tap at agent. Okay. So I want to create an event for my basketball game at 9 p.m. and let's see what it does. So you see that the agent is thinking and is doing a bunch of stuff. And it's basically got access to tools to create this event. So it's parse tool call and it's populating the event. So it's not just an LLM, but it's extending its feature set by adding some tools to it. The AI has finished and it's created these two links. So if I click on it, it's going to create a calendar event with November 18th, 9 p.m. basketball playoff game. And I just need to click save and now have a calendar event. So you can add in people's emails, the participants, whether you have Zoom or not. The AI will be smart enough to recognize that and populate it into Google or Microsoft Outlook. So that's the power of agents. I just showed you custom skills. Custom skills are basically things that you built by writing code. The difference between custom skills and agent flows is that custom skills requires programming and you need to learn how to program to make one. But if you have no technical background, you can use agent flows, which is a drag and drop interface that allows you to make your own AI agent flows. So you can make API calls, you can scrape websites, you can read files, write files. I'm going to give you a simple demonstration. Here you see that there's a Hacker News headline. And what it does is it goes to the website Hacker News, and if you have a particular topic that you're interested, you can tell it to extract all the links to those topics that you're interested in. And how does it do that? Well, the AI will read all the text on the website, save it, and then it'll pass that to your LLM, and the LLM will use this prompt to figure out which one is relevant to you. So it's making decisions for you. I made an AI news flow because I'm always sharing AI news on social media and my newsletter. I don't want to read through all the information myself. In this simple AI flow, what it does is it goes to x.com or Twitter and it searches for AI related content. It looks through the content and shows me the most viral content about AI, and then it spits back a result. So let's see how that works. But before you can start scraping information from websites, a lot of websites like Twitter and x.com require you to log in before you can see the information. Same with LinkedIn and a lot of different websites. So in order to do that, you have to come here to Browser Tool, click on Open Browser, and then in Open Browser, you need to log into your LinkedIn and your Google and whatever website you want to scrape. And after you've logged in, then Anything LLM can use this browser and access the data and information on those websites. Okay, so let's give it a test. So all you need to do is use @agent and then just call the name of the agent flow. So my agent flow is called AI News. And you can type in any words you want as long as it mentions the name of your agent flow, and it's going to start working. The agent has finished, and I want to quickly guide you through it. If you look at the thinking and reasoning, you see that agent is thinking and is calling a flow C799. So that means it's actually using the AI agent flow that we created. And you can see executing flow AI News, and then it's scraping the content of x.com, successfully scraped it, processing with my instruction, and then coming back with an answer. And look at the answer. Google launches Deep Research Notebook. So this is really good. I know that Notebook LLM just came out with a new feature, and that's something 100% I think my audience would like. So it's giving me some really good feedback and is working. Now let's dive into how you can build your own agent flow. So you can either go to Explore Trending and download an existing one and modify it, or you can start a new one. And it's just a matter of stringing them together. You can start with API call if you're familiar with the APIs. But most of the time you want to do web scraping, whether it be LinkedIn, or you can actually put in a file for it to read every single time. And let's say I do web scraping and then I scrape some information and I want to write it to a file and then save it to my disk. I can do that too. And then in between, maybe I wanted to take the data, pass to LLM, do some processing, and then write it to file. That's also possible. The possibilities are endless, and you can string together a bunch of different flows. And this is very similar to N8N and Make.com, which I've covered in my previous videos. But this is a 100% local version where you don't have to send your data to a public AI. And It's all on your own computer. That's how you use agent flows. I've just shown you custom skills and agent flows, but what if that's too much work for you? Well, I'm going to show you presets. If the AI flow that you're working on is not too complicated and it's quite simple, you can use presets similar to LM Studio. And so I have a LinkedIn post preset here where it basically just remembers my prompt agent, check my LinkedIn feed post for about AI. And because I've logged into LinkedIn, it will look through my personal feed and look for relevant AI material for me to reference. And this is another great way to build your own prompt library. And so that basically explains all the features down here. And I do want to give an additional tip here, which is in LM Studio, you can only use DuckDuckGo, but DuckDuckGo, from my experience, doesn't give you the best results. So you can come here to web search and you can choose Google and you get 100 queries per day for free. So I'll click here and then you'll need to search for your engine ID and access API key from Google. So you click here, grab that key and paste it in, and you're going to get much better results. And just to recap, I've shown you how to use agent flows and custom skills and presets to schedule a meeting, search your internet, scrape LinkedIn, scrape Hacker News and Reddit for content ideas. And I hope you see how Anything LLM's AI agent capabilities are more powerful than LM Studio. But then you're asking, oh, why do I need LM Studio then? Well, LM Studio allows you to quickly select the best models and change the models frequently because the models change all the time. And it's got a nice interface for you to choose the right model for your needs, such as vision or tools or whatever it is. And here's the bonus. Remember early on in this video, I had this diagram where you have LM Studio running on your machine and then Anything LLM calls the LM Studio model. Well, what if your computer is not fast enough, like I mentioned very early on? I'm going to show you how. I have LM Studio running on my Windows gaming PC, which is much faster. And then I use my Mac to call the LM Studio. So let me show you how that's done. This is my gaming Windows PC, and what I've done is I'm able to download a much larger Qwen model, and I've downloaded Qwen 30B. I just need to come here, turn on my server, and you'll see that it's got an address 192.168.1.28, and that's my IP address. Remember that number. Okay, so I've shown you my Windows computer LM Studio setup. And now I'm back on my Mac computer, which is not as powerful, and I cannot run Qwen 30B. I can only run Qwen 4B on my Mac. So what can I do? I go to Anything LLM, come here, choose LLM, and you'll see that I can type in my base URL. I type in the IP address of my Windows computer and add V1 at the end. And if it successfully connects, then you'll be able to choose the models that are running on the other machine. This works as long as your machines are within the same network. So if you're using the same Wi-Fi, then it should automatically detect. And I found this pairing of these two software the easiest to use and the most straightforward. So if you're in an office environment and your office computer is not fast enough, you can ask the IT department to set up a server running LM Studio with a more powerful machine, and all your colleagues can call that server and run more powerful models. And I think that's super cool. That's why I chose Anything LLM and LM Studio. If you learned something in this video, please like and subscribe. It'll help me so much. And if you want to learn more about AI, please join my AI community in the description. And finally, if you want to vibe code and learn how to code with AI, join my course in my community. I'll see you inside.